What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. What an insane 30-ish hours it's been for your Miami Dolphins, and this all began Saturday. And, again, took the week off because Christmas week, very busy with stuff. Getting ready for my trip to Atlanta this upcoming week for the quarterfinal of the college football playoff. I will be at the Texas-Arizona State game this coming Wednesday. But we get to yesterday, and around 2:30, maybe 4 o'clock, we start to hear stuff that Tua Tagovailoa is dealing with a hip injury, and he's doubtful. He's doubtful for the game. He's not going to play. And when I tell you that the Dolphins fan base was losing their mind, they were losing their absolute mind. Now, the way I was looking at this, I was like, the Dolphins don't have a chance to make the playoffs. They are going to lose they might win out, but the Broncos, they're not going to lose next week, and whatever happens, I just didn't think there was a chance the Dolphins would make the playoffs. But Tua's out, the fan base is up in a war, and this is very interesting that I did want to share before we got into the game. Tracy Wolfson, he's the sideline reporter for Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. She tweeted out yesterday, once Tua got downgraded to doubtful, she tweeted that Tua told me last week it would be a challenge to play through the hip last week. Got through it, but obviously aggravated it. Told me it's the same hip he had surgery on in college, but fortunately in a different spot. And I scrolled through Twitter today, and I see a play where Tua decided not to slide. He dove in head first against the Houston Texans, and the defender came in and hit him right in the hip. And that's where I think Tua got his injury from. That's where I think Tua got injured, was that game against the Texans. He played through it last week against the 49ers in a game that was absolutely meaningless, but now he's not playing this game, and all of a sudden, the Broncos lose to the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime in an absolute thriller, one of the best games of the year. Oh shit, the Dolphins now have a chance at the playoffs. But then wait a minute, the Giants are the worst team in the NFL. They play the Indianapolis Colts. We need the Colts to lose because the Colts have the head-to-head over us because they beat us earlier in the season. What happens? The Giants beat the Colts. They score 45 points on the Colts defense. That eliminates the Colts from the playoffs. Dolphins go in this game without Tua Tagovailoa, without Jalen Waddle, and it doesn't matter. They get the victory over the Cleveland Browns, 20-3. And when I tell you that if they weren't playing the Browns today and they were playing another team, the Dolphins do not win this game. Now, they played good enough to win this game. But I guarantee you, the Browns, another team will not have made the same mistakes that the Cleveland Browns were making in this game. We're lucky that Mike McDaniel had 2 unsuccessful challenges in 2 minutes, and it didn't come back to bite us. Against another team, if we were playing Buffalo or whatever team, that would have absolutely came back to bite the Dolphins in the ass. But we're lucky it didn't. I'm sorry about my dog barking in the background if you guys hear the barks. And we're lucky that we were facing a third-string quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR. I'm not going to put an asterisk next to this game. This game was well earned by the Miami Dolphins. They're now 8-8. They do this every year. They slowly but surely, they pull me back in as a fan. They pull me back in into thinking that we have a chance to ultimately crush us in the end. It happens all the time. And they're doing it again. They're doing it again. But what needs to happen next week is we need the Chiefs to beat the Broncos, which that is a very hard ask. Why is that a hard ask? Because the Chiefs have already clinched the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they are going to be sitting their starters. So you're not going to be seeing Pat Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce. You're not going to be seeing the majority of their starters. Now, they might play a drive or two, because going 20-plus days without playing a game of football, that's a very long time. That's a very long time. But they might play a drive. They might play no drives. And the Denver Broncos had that game won yesterday. They had that game. But they lost, and here we are. We're going into Week 18 thinking we have a chance. What needs to happen? We'll talk about that at the end of this video. But let's get into some stats. The Dolphins and the Browns. We'll start with the away team, which was the Dolphins. Tyler Huntley went 22 of 26, 225 passing yards, 1 interception. He also had 7 rushes for 52 yards and a touchdown. You can tell that Tyler Huntley was way more comfortable in this offense than he was in, let's say, Week 5 or Week 4 when we were playing the Tennessee Titans. He looked way more comfortable in the offense tonight than he did in the beginning of the season. And that's understandable. You brought Tyler Huntley into this organization, and you immediately handed him the keys over because Tua Tagovailoa went down with a concussion. Skylar Thompson wasn't your answer, and Tyler Huntley has to come in. He just got it to the team 2 weeks ago. He's still learning the offense, and, he looked way better today than he did the beginning of the season. And I'm going to go out there and say this. This today was the best backup quarterback play from a player on the Dolphins since Ryan Fitzpatrick was on the team in 2020. The Dolphins have not had a good backup quarterback since Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I'm not going to sit here and say the Dolphins have a good backup quarterback because I'm not solidifying Tyler Huntley as the backup, although it is quite sounding like he's going to stick around for next year, which, if you want Tyler Huntley in the quarterback room, fine, but we need another quarterback, and I will get into that in the offseason. But today, he was great. He did what he needed to do. The most important thing that Tyler Huntley did today, he didn't turn the football over. Most important thing, didn't turn it over, and he was awesome. Shout out Snoop Huntley. Devon Achane, 10 carries for 25 yards, and the Dolphins ran the ball for 74 yards. Tyreek Hill. It was reported that Tyreek Hill was aggressive while practicing this week, trying to focus on catching the football. Tyreek Hill had 9 targets today. Tyreek Hill caught 9 balls for 105 yards. Tyreek Hill had himself a good game today. Malik Washington, 4 catches for 41 yards. Jonnu Smith, 3 catches, 26 yards, and a touchdown to put the end to this game. And Raheem Mostert, 2 catches, 16 yards. River Craycraft came up with a big catch today. 1 catch, 16 yards. You look at the Dolphins' defense. Terrell Dotson, my MVP today, was Terrell Dotson. Unbelievable game. 15 tackles from Terrell Dotson, as well as an interception. we had sacks from Emmanuel Ogba, which he got a forced fumble, which was recovered by Deshaun Hand. So Ogba got a sack. Calais Campbell didn't get a sack, but he was in on a lot of plays today. Calais Campbell had himself a good day for the Miami Dolphins. Then we look at DTR, 24 of 47, 170 yards, 1 touchdown. Yeah, you're not going to win the game with DTR throwing the ball 47 times. That's crazy. Dante Foreman, 13 carries, 49 yards. Pierre Strong, 5 carries, 33 yards. Jerome Ford, 6 carries, 22 yards. The Browns had decent runs here and there, but it didn't really result in anything. 114 yards on the ground. Jerry Jeudy had 18 targets today. He dropped a couple of them, man. He got 12 catches for 94 yards. Jordan Akins, 6 catches for 49 yards. And that was basically it from the Browns receivers. And Myles Garrett got 2 sacks. Isaiah McGuire got a sack. Cameron Thomas got a sack. So the Browns were able to get home on Tyler Huntley at a couple times. 4 sacks overall for the Browns defense. So let's get into this game as the Dolphins defeat the Cleveland Browns 20-3 in an ugly, I don't want to call it an ugly game. It rained here and there, but the Dolphins caught a break. And when I mean they caught a break, this time of year, you would think December 29th, it is 25 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's snowing. We did not get that today. We got a brisk 59 degrees at kickoff for this game. Huge benefit to the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to say it's a reason they won. The Browns are a terrible football team, but, the Dolphins caught a break with their cold weather allegations. The Dolphins got the ball first, 7 plays, 16 yards, and they're running the ball. Achane picked up 16 yards on the first 3 plays of the game. You get a false start from Alec Ingle. It's like, all right, it's only 2nd and 9. 15 yards to Tyreek Hill, but then Isaiah Wynn decides to come over and bulldoze Rodney McLeod, and he gets called for unnecessary roughness. So that's a loss of 15 yards. It's still a first down, but not good there. Bad snap exchange from Aaron Brewer to Tyler Huntley, which is a loss of 9. Tyler Huntley to Devon Achane for 1 yard. Tyreek Hill got called for holding, which was declined. And on 3rd and 18, Tyler Huntley to Raheem Mostert for 13 yards. The Dolphins punted. Browns got the ball, and they go 3 and out on their first drive. Dolphins get the ball again. They start on their own 38. Quick pass from Tyler Huntley to Tyreek Hill for 10 yards. And then on 2nd down, Tyler Huntley to Jonnu Smith for 12 yards. 2nd and 11, Achane only picks up 3. Brewer gets called for offensive holding, which that backs us up 10 yards. 3rd and 18, Tyler Huntley to Devon Achane for 12 yards. That sets up Jason Sanders for a 54-yard field goal, and he just made it off the crossbar, and it goes in. Your Dolphins go up 3-0 over the Cleveland Browns. Then the Browns, their best drive of the game, 14 plays, 66 yards in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. 2nd and 8, DTR to Jordan Akins for 11 yards. 2nd and 11, you get a defensive holding call on Storm Duck. Interception that went through the hands of Javon Holland. And Storm Duck gets called for holding Javon Holland. His regression from 2 years ago to last year and now to the pathetic season he's having this year needs to be studied. Again, I will say it again. That man has not been the same since the Hail Mary last year against the Jets. He has not been the same player at all. Jerome Ford for 4 yards on first down. Then Pierre Strong for 4 yards. DTR for 2 yards. They pick up the first down. They go deep to Jerry Jeudy and it's incomplete. Pierre Strong for 5 yards. DTR to Jerry Jeudy for 15 yards. Javon Holland had the opportunity to tackle him before the sticks, and he just decides to chase him. Awesome. Jerome Ford picks up 19 yards. And then they go 3 and out from first and goal to 7. Jerome Ford loses 2 yards. And then they go incomplete and a 2-yard run for Jerome Ford, which is very weird play calling. 3rd and goal at the 9, and you're running the ball up the left. Very weird play calling from Stefanski. Dustin Hopkins makes a 25-yard field goal, and your game is tied at 3. Dolphins go 4 plays, 26 yards. First play of the drive, Tyler Huntley, a beautiful pass to Tyreek Hill for 25 yards. What happens these next plays? Okay, we get Achane for 3 yards. And then they do cute bullshit. Achane loses 2 yards. And then 3rd and 9, Tyler Huntley incomplete. So we basically wasted that 25-yard pass to Tyreek Hill just to go 3 and out. The Browns, they don't move the ball. 3 straight incompletions from DTR. And then the Dolphins get the ball. And Huntley again, first play, Tyreek Hill, 14 yards. They had a very good connection throughout the day, and it's something I wanted to see because when Tyler Huntley was in early in the season, Tyreek Hill was not getting the ball at all. And Tyreek Hill had a very good game today. And I was very happy to see that early on in the first half that Tyler Huntley was throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill. I was very happy to see that. Then they have a first down to Tyreek Hill. And Mike McDaniel wants to play east-west football, not north, going straight up the field. Not even cute. Just dumb bullshit. And Malik Washington ends up losing 11 yards on the first play after that first down to Tyreek Hill. Tyler Huntley scrambles for 7 yards. Devon Achane to the right for 7 yards. And the Browns get called for unnecessary roughness. They start on their own 5-yard line. Dante Foreman for 5 yards. Dante Foreman for 4 yards. He gets a first down on 3rd and 1. So they get all the way up to their 33-yard line. And I have no idea where this ball was being thrown. But DTR throws an interception to Tyrell Dotson right at the 50-yard line. Phenomenal play. My MVP of the day was Tyrell Dotson. But what's he decide to do? He takes off his helmet for unsportsmanlike conduct. And this was by far the worst series of the day for the Dolphins, okay? He takes off his helmet. We have the ball at midfield. He takes off his helmet. We end up starting the ball at our own 35-yard line. Tyler Huntley to Tyreek Hill, 5 yards, fine. Next play, we get a holding call on Armstead. By the way, he got hurt again. So we'll see if he plays next week against the Jets. I'll talk about this at the end. Never mind. Teron Armstead holding, 2nd and 15. Next play, Tyler Huntley gets sacked. That's losing 7 yards. And then false start on Kendall Lamb, losing another 5 yards. And on 3rd and 27, we got an 8-yard pass to D. Eskridge. So we had the ball at midfield, the 50-yard line. And we get minus 15 for the unsportsmanlike. We get -10 for the holding. We get -7 for the sack. We get -5 for false start. That is 15, 25. That is 37 yards. 37 yards lost on that drive. And that is 35 yards on penalties. It's been the story of this season. It's been the story of the season for the Miami Dolphins. So, they punt, and this was very important because there's 1:48 left. Game is tied at 3. The game is going terribly. Dante Foreman picks up 11 yards on 2 carries. And on 3rd and 9, DTR to Pierre Strong for 8 yards. They have the ball at the Dolphins' 38. Instead of electing to kick the field goal, they go for it. And who comes blasting up the middle but Calais Campbell? Calais fucking Campbell makes a big stop on 4th down. Sets the Dolphins up at their own 38-yard line. Tyler Huntley intended to Jonnu Smith, but Martin Emerson climbed all over his back, so they take away the interception, and the Browns get awarded with pass interference, which is the right call. At the Cleveland 49, Malik Washington, 12 yards. Malik Washington, 7 yards. Malik Washington, 9 yards. Clock the ball. We have 1 second left on the game clock. Jason Sanders, 39-yard field goal. Boom. We take the lead going into halftime, 6-3. And ever since Calais Campbell got that big 4th down stop for us, the momentum changed in this game. It changed. We were able to get downfield with Huntley to Malik Washington on that drive. Sanders gets the field goal. We take the lead going into halftime. We got the momentum for the rest of this game. The Browns could not move the ball. Barely in the second half. And when they did, their coach made a very dumb decision. So, let's talk about it. The Browns get the ball to start the second half, and they go 3 and out. 3 passes from DTR, and they're punting. And the Dolphins go 6 plays, 72 yards. First play, Huntley to Tyreek Hill for 13 yards. Emerson from Cleveland gets called for face mask. And that brings us to the Browns' 44-yard line. And another 13-yard pass, this time to Malik Washington. Mostert loses 2 yards. Huntley to Tyreek Hill for 4 yards. And on 3rd and 8, Huntley throws a dart to River Craycraft for the first down. And it's first down Dolphins at the Browns' 13-yard line. And then Tyler Huntley, using his legs, gets the touchdown. And if you guys remember, in the beginning of the season, when the Dolphins did sign Tyler Huntley, I said, I like this move because we have a quarterback who can use his legs when we need him to. We can have a running quarterback on this roster. And very much in this second half, part of the reason why we played really well on offense was because Tyler Huntley used his legs. So, huge for the Dolphins right there. They get a touchdown. They're up 13-3. The Browns go backwards. 3 plays, 14 yards. False start on 3rd down. They get an intentional grounding on 3rd down with Chop Robinson getting the pressure. And they punt. The Dolphins, they punt after Tyler Huntley gets sacked on 3rd down by Myles Garrett. And then the Browns go 6 plays, 14 yards. Second down, DTR for 9 yards and a first down. Then we get defensive holding on Deshaun Hand. We get to the Miami 45. QB option. Excuse me. We get a QB option run from DTR. Calais Campbell's right there to stop it. And on the very next play, Emmanuel Ogbah gets pressure, sacks DTR, forces the fumble, and it's recovered by Deshaun Hand. Miami has the ball at the Browns' 45-yard line. So now we have the ball. 5:23 to go in the third quarter. Tyler Huntley to Tyreek Hill for 6 yards. 3rd and 5. Tyler Huntley gets 4. And Mike McDaniel challenged it. He did not get it. I thought he did get it. So, Mike McDaniel, terrible in challenges. But at this point, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I would have challenged that too, because I thought that was a first down. It was not. It was 4th and inches. 4th and inches. What does this moron decide to do? Pitch right to Devon Achane, and it gets stuffed for -2. I know we won the game, and that's awesome. But my God, they might have won this game in spite of Mike McDaniel. They didn't win this game because of Mike McDaniel. They won this game in spite of Mike McDaniel. And it's because of shit like this. Seriously, man. Come on. What the fuck are you doing on that 4th down call? And then we have the Browns having the ball. They go 11 plays, 59 yards. First play, DTR to Jordan Atkins for 11 yards. And then DTR incomplete to Dante Foreman. Mike McDaniel challenged because he thought this was behind the receiver. And it was... They were challenging if it was a forward pass or not. Obviously, it was a forward pass. But this idiot decided to challenge anyway. The ruling on the field stood. Awesome. Awesome. We wasted 2 timeouts in a minute and a half because of challenges that this idiot wanted to make. Great. Pierre Strong for 19 yards down in the Miami 32. 2nd and 10, DTR to Jerry Jeudy for 6 yards. 3rd and 4, DTR to Jerry Jeudy for 9 yards. Down to the Miami 17. DTR to Jerry Jeudy for -1. Jordan Brooks makes a football tackle, and the refs call a flag on it. That was absolute bullshit. Bullshit call by the refs right there. Didn't matter at the end, but still, has to be addressed. Dante Foreman for 5. We're going into the 4th quarter. 2nd and goal at the Miami 4. DTR throws an incompletion. 3rd and goal. Dante Foreman runs it up for 1 yard. So, when it's 3rd and goal and they're running, what does that tell you? It's 4 down territory, and the team is probably going to go for it. But in this case, we caught a break because Stefanski should have kicked the field goal, which is automatic, from 21 yards. This would have been a touchdown game. Instead, he goes for it, and Jalen Ramsey makes a great play, batting the ball away from Jerry Jeudy, and the Dolphins get the ball. Dolphins get the ball. They go 3 and out, but that was a phenomenal play by Jalen Ramsey. The Browns, they go 3 and out. Illegal motion on Jerry Jeudy, and then 2nd and 13. Intentional grounding after pressure from Javon Holland. And on 3rd and 24, DTR to Pierre Strong for 5 yards after a screen. The Dolphins punt, 8 plays, 32 yards. Tyler Huntley scrambled for 11 yards on 2nd down to get a first down. 3rd and 7. Tyler Huntley's legs, baby. This was the drive. Tyler Huntley used his legs to keep the drive going. And we wanted to kill clock. And on this drive, we ended up killing 5.5 minutes, which was awesome. Tyler Huntley picks up 18 on 3rd and 7. We go 3 and out after that, which is fine by me. Jake Bailey with the punt of the season from the Dolphins 46 down to the Browns 2. An absolute thing of beauty. And he was able to redeem himself because on the play before that, he got the punt off on the side of his foot. And on this one, he got it down to the Browns' 2-yard line. So, 2nd and 10, DTR to Jerry Jeudy for 9. 3rd down, Pierre Strong picks up the first down. We get another intentional grounding from DTR. That makes it 3rd and 20. And DTR gets it to Jordan Akins for 15 yards. And on 4th and 5, DTR to Michael Woods. Only 3 yards. And the Dolphins, they go 4 plays, 21 yards. 2nd and 8, Huntley to Tyreek Hill for 13 yards. And on 2nd and goal, Huntley to Johnny Smith for 7 yards. Touchdown. And that was the game. Turnover on downs. Victory formation for Tyler Huntley. And your Miami Dolphins beat the Cleveland Browns 20-3. And their playoff hopes are alive going into next week. Now, we saw that Tua Tagovailoa did not play. This came up on Saturday. I don't know if it was a doctor's decision or if he didn't feel comfortable or if it was a Mike McDaniel decision. I don't know. But we don't know when the Dolphins are going to play the Jets next week. But the number one thing that has to happen is we have to beat the Jets next week. So it is all hands on deck. All hands on deck. Last time we played the Jets, they took us into overtime. Embarrassingly. We should have not beaten them in that game. We're lucky we did. We went into overtime with the Jets last time they played us. We need all hands on deck next week against the Jets. I don't care that they're a 4-win team. Why? Because we barely beat them last time. So we need Tua against the Jets. We need Patrick Paul. We need Armstead. We need Jalen Waddle. I love Terrell Dotson. You might want to keep him in there over Anthony Walker. But next week, we're going to need Tua. We're going to need Armstead. We're going to need Jalen Waddle because we need to win this fucking game. I have not cared since the Green Bay game. Ever since they lost that, I have not cared about this season. But they've managed to keep themselves in the playoffs. They're right there. Now, I want them to win. And we need our guys next week. We need Jalen Waddle. We need Armstead. And more importantly, we need Tua Tagovailoa next week against the Jets. And do we get a miracle with the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Broncos? Honestly, man, I doubt it. The Broncos barely lost to the Chiefs the first time they played with Mahomes and everybody. Now they're going to be playing Carson Wentz. And I think that if the Broncos only lost to the Chiefs by 2 when they had all their starters, that they're going to be able to handle business against their backups. So, is it looking promising for the Dolphins? No. I'm going to be honest, it's not. But right now, we just have to worry about beating the Jets. And people are saying, what are the Bengals in this scenario? How are the Bengals involved in it? The Bengals need us and the Broncos to lose. We just need the Broncos to lose. But that's highly unlikely. And it wouldn't shock me at all if we have 2 Saturday games coming up. It would not shock me at all that it wouldn't shock me at all if Saturday we have the Dolphins and Jets playing at 4:30 and the Chiefs and Broncos playing at 8 o'clock. That would not shock me at all. So we'll see what happens, but I am getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter, Colin_Joseph. Comment down below if you're a Dolphins or a Browns fan what you thought on this game. And I will see you tomorrow to preview the quarterfinal of the college football playoff. Have a good one. Stay safe, and as always, stay classy. Let's go Dolphins, baby. Let's go.